Hades 2 Early Access Release. The player takes the role of Zagreus, the prince of the Underworld, who is trying to escape the realm to get away from his unloving father, Hades, and reach his mother Persephone in the mortal world. His quest is supported by the other Olympians, who grant him gifts to help fight the beings that protect the exit from the Underworld. He is also helped on his quest by notorious residents of the Underworld, such as Sisyphus, Eurydice, or Patroclus. The game world is divided between 4 main dungeons, each representing one of the regions of the Underworld, namely Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and the Temple of Styx, with each new region being unlocked upon clearing the previous locale. Following in the footsteps of Hades, the sequel is also set to release in early access before its full launch. More information on the early access period is expected to come sometime in 2023. Early access will give you the chance to purchase and play a work-in-progress version of Hades and have the option to contribute feedback in the lead-up to launch. Feedback from our player community through the course of development was foundational to the design and vital to the quality of the original game, Supergiant says. So we plan to reprise that type of process with Hades 2. The game is presented in an isometric view with the player in control of Zagreus. The player starts a run-through of the game by trying to fight their way through a number of rooms. The rooms are drawn from a pool of predetermined layouts, but their order and the enemies that appear are randomly determined. The game has a hack-and-slash combat system. The player has a primary attack and a secondary special attack depending on their predetermined weapon of choice. Out of 6, a magic cast that can be used from long range, a dash providing momentary intangibility and mobility which can deal damage when combined with an attack or boon, and a summon attack that can call tremendous power from one of the gods. Throughout a run, the Olympians will provide boons, each of which provides a choice of 3 persistent boosts and effects for that run that the player can select from. The boons are themed based on the Olympian. For example, Zeus's boons provide lightning damage effects and Poseidon's provide pushback wave effects. Following in the footsteps of Hades, the sequel is also set to release in early access before its full launch. More information on the early access period is expected to come sometime in 2023. Early access will give you the chance to purchase and play a work-in-progress version of Hades and have the option to contribute feedback in the lead-up to launch. Feedback from our player community through the course of development was foundational to the design and vital to the quality of the original game, Supergiant says. So we plan to reprise that type of process with Hades 2. Hades 2 will introduce us to a new playable character in Melano, the immortal princess of the Underworld who we got to meet in the debut reveal trailer. As the sister of Zagreus from the original game, Melano is also a character who's plucked from ancient mythology. Said to be based on an ancient underworld deity, she's thought to be related to Hades in what little ancient mythology exists about her. With some mystery surrounding the character, Supergiant Games said it was eager to explore her story and connection to her family, in so doing, expand on our vision of the underworld. Hades 2 is a direct sequel to the original game that is said to take place sometime after the events of Zagreus' underworld escapades. Also set in and around Greek myth, Hades 2 centers around Kronos, the Titan of Time, who's known to be a wicked father to Hades and his brothers. Escaped from imprisonment in the underworld, Kronos now wages war on Olympus. While it is a direct follow-up to the first game, Supergiant makes it clear that you don't need to know anything about Hades or Greek mythology to get stuck into the sequel. While you don't need prior knowledge of the mythology of Hades to enjoy the sequel, Supergiant shares some interesting facts about witchcraft and how it's integral to many Greek myths, including some of the most well-known myths and those that inspired Hades and Hades 2. One figure of myth, in particular, is the heart of the sequel's direction. Central to this ancient and oft-feared and misunderstood practice is Hecate, the secretive goddess of witchcraft and the crossroads. Supergiant explains over on its FAQ page, opens a new tab, for Hades 2. She plays a significant role in classical mythology surrounding Hades and the Underworld, and has been an influential and deeply compelling figure in witchcraft, myth, and folklore in a variety of cultures for thousands of years, so much so we felt we needed a whole new game to try and do her justice.